Welcome to LOQation, Cabrini College's weekly news program. I'm Parisa Ghaffari.
And I'm Ricardo Shepard, and here's your news now.
Yik Yak is a popular app amongst college students. The app allows you to get a live feed of what's going on around you based on a location you're checked into. When posting to the app, all messages appear anonymous. A 20-year-old Widener University freshman from New Jersey was arrested after making a threat on Yik Yak last week. He posted a comment stating that he will attempt to shoot anyone who bullies him, relating the tragedies that occurred at Columbine and Virginia Tech. Students took the threat very seriously and notified authorities, who contacted detectives to investigate the situation. The post was removed from Yik Yak minutes after it was made. An hour and a half later, the student was formally arrested and is currently going through psychiatric evaluation at this time. Quick reminder to students, the college will be closed this Friday, October 10th, due to Dean's Fall holiday. Eager to study abroad during your time here at Cabrini? Then you'll be happy with the new college policy about paying for international learning. Let's take a look at how 3 students, with the help of Cabrini staff, pushed to make this program more affordable.
Study abroad allows students an opportunity to leave the country and earn Cabrini credit at various institutions abroad for either a semester, a summer, a year, or even now for a 1-week program, which we have during the spring break. It got to the point where we had a large number of students studying abroad, and it was costing the college a great deal of money. So they eventually decided that students who were going to study abroad had to pay for their own study abroad semester, that the college would not support it financially because it wasn't in a position financially to do so.
So in the fall of 2013, we had 3 students come to meet with Dr. Gingrich, who was the dean at the time, and myself when I was associate dean. And these students were Mario Marino, Madison Milano, and Danielle Kane. And they came to us and said, we really think we need to do something to make study abroad more affordable. And Dr. Gingrich and I said, yes, we agree with you, and we talked through it. They actually put together a great presentation for us, a PowerPoint presentation on the benefits of studying abroad.
Danielle Kane and I approached Tom Nerney, who's the chair of the Board of Trustees, to ensure that we had the board's support in changing the financial aid policy. So once we had that support and we were able to show the way that financial aid and study abroad align with our mission, we revamped the project, taking it back to the administration. The proposal for how financial aid would be restructured took many different forms, and we finally arrived at one that we felt was beneficial both for students and would have a positive financial impact on the institution.
Next semester, I'm going to be a senior studying abroad on semester C, and with Cabrini's aid, I was able, the price dropped significantly, and I'm also getting aid through semester C.
So I did semester at C, fall of 2013, and I went to 15 countries throughout Europe, Africa, and South America. And it was so amazing. We lived on a ship, and we just kind of slept and ate and went to classes and just did the whole college thing on the ship, going from country to country. And I got to do like camel trek in Morocco and cage diving in South Africa. We got to go to Cuba, and we got to taste just all these different foods from these different places. And it was just really one of the best things, probably the best thing that I've done. So it's awesome, and it's something that everybody should take advantage of, because there's really not going to be another time that you can just kind of take 4 months off of your life and just go to these places and do these amazing things. So it's definitely something everybody should do. Everybody should know about it. Everybody should just try their best to do this. It'll absolutely be worth it.
And that was your trip around the block. Let's check in with Howard Blake to see what's new with sports. So the NBA preseason's coming up, right?
Yeah, it is. I actually have more news on that, so let's check it out. The NBA preseason schedule has begun, and it has fans excited. Kobe Bryant and Derrick Rose returned to the hardwood after sitting out last season with injuries, and LeBron James took the floor in front of Cleveland fans. With a lot of teams having potential this season, it's tough to see what teams will be elite. Tweet me your thoughts at LOQation News. After the Patriots' embarrassing loss to the Chiefs 2 weeks ago, there were many people criticizing Tom Brady and wondering if his lack of success is because of his old age. The Patriots took on the Bengals on Sunday Night Football and quieted the critics after a 43-17 win. Tom Brady threw for 292 yards and 2 touchdowns and looked like the future Hall of Famer that we all know. As for campus sports, the men's soccer team welcomed back more than 20 alumni for their annual alumni game. Later on, the Cavs took on Centenary College and won in dramatic fashion. The Blue and White won 2-1 in overtime on a game-winning goal by sophomore John Underwood, his first of the season. The Cavs are now on a 5-game win streak. Let's see if they can keep it up. The women's tennis team is still rolling. While on a 4-game win streak, the Blue and White continues to stay undefeated in the CSAC with a record of 7-0. Fresh off of their 5-3 win over Immaculata, the Cavs look to continue their success against Philadelphia University before they finish up their CSAC schedule. And that was this week's sports news. Let's send it over to Ricardo at the news desk.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. To help students learn more about the issue, here are insight from 3 Cabrini College professors who are passionate about stopping domestic violence.
Domestic violence is abuse, violence, and controlling behaviors between 2 individuals who are in a relationship together.
People between the ages of 18 and 24 have the highest rates of domestic violence. Also know that it's most frequently seen during the college years.
There's this stat that's current is that 1 in 14 marriages will suffer from domestic violence. So it is really a lot of people that are affected.
Domestic violence isn't always just a man abusing a woman. It can be the reverse. So a woman could be abusing a man, and that's another sort of myth of domestic violence.
Whether or not you experience it as a victim, domestic violence might affect you indirectly.
Children are affected if they're witnessing domestic violence. So many times these kids are traumatized and will suffer. And if we focus on the children, we may be able to stop domestic violence.
We have seen domestic violence in the media in the past few weeks, of course, with the Ray Rice and many others who are coming to light within the NFL who are being accused of domestic violence. So whenever something is in the media, all of a sudden everyone's talking about it. And sometimes it's a great thing because it's bringing attention to really difficult issues.
And what that's done is both good and bad. It highlights both the questions that we have in our culture about domestic violence, but also those counter arguments that make domestic violence seem like less of a problem or that might blame victims. So it's both good and bad that we have this huge attention on the issue, but it's really important to have more follow-up conversations about what this issue really is. Cabrini College has a tremendous program about domestic violence education. So when you look at the domestic violence movement, what you see is there's the necessity to have people educated about domestic violence, and that's where Cabrini really comes in. We don't do the direct service. We don't deal directly with victims, but we do train students how to manage their friends who might be in domestic violence situations.
One of the great blessings of Cabrini College is that we're a college that focuses on social justice, and so for probably over 6 years now, maybe going on 7 or 8, we've been offering an ECG 300 course that's focused on dating and domestic violence. That course has been taught by Dr. Persichetti, Dr. Mace, Dr. Groves, and it partners with the Laurel House in Norristown and is a course that's really teaching students about dating and domestic violence and working on community-based research to really provide advocacy and awareness of DV.
And the more education we can have and the more conversations we can have about domestic violence, I think that will help to eliminate and become more aware of the pieces that are out there.
With the recent outbreak of the Ebola virus in West Africa and the first case of someone getting sick with Ebola on American soil, the U.S. has decided to beef up screening of travelers. It has become evident that the United States needs to act quickly and effectively on the matter. According to President Obama, the U.S. is working to create Ebola airport checkpoints. The screenings will be conducted upon arrival to the U.S. for all incoming air passengers from foreign countries. CNN reports reveal that pro-democracy demonstrators are standing their ground in the streets of Hong Kong as they protest about Chinese government rules regarding voting process for Hong Kong officials. For more than a week, smaller businesses have suffered financially because protesters are blockading main highways in key areas of the tightly packed city. In the midst of the events, protesters have succeeded in their attempt to gain the attention of Hong Kong government representatives. Arrangements have been made for student leaders and government officials to meet for negotiations. This week, China says it has removed over 150,000 makeshift workers from provincial government payroll as the campaign against corruption within the Chinese government continues. President Xi Jinping's ultimate goal is to put an end to criminal acts, including misuse of government funds and abuse of power by officials within China's government. President Xi also plans to reduce funding for vacations and also plans to scrap all government official vehicles by 2017. President Xi claims that he is taking steps in the right direction for the future of China's prosperity. And those are this week's big issues. So Morgan, what's going on in entertainment this week?
Well, apparently there's news that Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon are getting a divorce.
You know, I heard about that.
Did you really? Well, let me tell you more about it on Location News right now. Is there trouble in the Cannon household? There are rumors that Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon are getting a divorce. Now Mariah Carey is claiming that Nick Cannon cheated during their marriage. Sources say that she is a wreck. When she performed at a show in Tokyo singing Don't Explain by Billie Holiday, it was told that she changed the lyrics singing about Nick Cannon cheating. Is it possible for reconciliation? Can a marriage counselor fix their problems? Stick with us and we will keep you updated. Now we have all had that one relationship where things got crazy. Well, for Sarah Hyland, she chose to get a restraining order against her 5-year boyfriend, Matthew Prokop. According to E! News, she claimed that he threatened her with disturbing texts and voicemails, and also his own suicidal threats. She reported that he choked her and he called her inappropriate names. He is ordered to stay 100 yards away from her and from her dog, Barkley Bixie. We will keep an eye open for more updates with these two. Continuing with entertainment, Amanda Bynes is getting married. Well, this actress was spotted in Manhattan with an engagement ring on her left-hand ring finger, 1 week after her DUI arrest, according to E! News. It is said that she is engaged to her 19-year-old boyfriend. It is unknown of how long they have been together or who he is. But if this is true, Miss Amanda Bynes, and congratulations to you. I hope this will make matters better for you. We are all wishing you the best. Now, we will see a clip on a current Cabrini student that created a new game app called iGame. Let's learn more about this right now.
Oh, I got this idea by going to a video game store called GameStop, and I was going to reserve NBA 2K, I think 14 last year, and they asked me to reserve 4 other more games, and I never heard of it. And they were like, you can subscribe to Game Informer, which is a magazine, for $30 a month. And I was in the back of my head like, why not just make an app since everyone's on their phone anyway? So that's how I started, developing the idea. I started in September, and I had to make a business plan, find developers, started developing it in May, and then we hit a ton of problems, and it was finally released August 28th, 2014. Well, I'm a huge Apple fan, so I like the iPhone, all that, but I figured iGames, it's kind of like my games, so like, when you open it, you have your watch list on games you're watching and, games you're interested in. So why not associate the title with something that's about yourself? So like the iPhone, it's your phone. So iGames, these are the games that interest me that I want to learn about. iGames, you pretty much open it up and there's any video game console that has ever came out. So you can look up anything that's came out from like a while ago to like now, like Xbox One or PS4. And there's games that, there's every game on there for that console, plus games that haven't even come out yet. So, like, when I had the issue, when I was at GameStop and I never heard of those 4 games, I was like, how do you educate yourself on them? And they're like, subscribe to this magazine or go online. Well, you can just use my app to educate you on those on future games coming soon, whatever. It's just a basic information app to make, gamers around the world's life easier.
Well, that was my time with your entertainment update. Now let's look into what's coming up next week on Location News. Let's send it over to Ted.
Next time on Location News.
We get to know our Cabrini student athletes.
Then we discuss what public safety does for students with disabilities.
Followed by an easy recipe that students can prepare in their dorms.
All this and more, only on Location News.
Thanks for joining us this week. For Location Weekly News, I'm Parissa Ghaffari.
And I'm Ricardo Shepard. Be sure to stay up to date with us on our social media by following us. Simply search Location News. Have a great week, Cabrini.